On Ultra Simple Golf today, we're back out at the beautiful Durban Country Club, and we're joined by former Springbok captain John Smit. John, fantastic to see you.
Good to see you.
John, it's almost 10 years since you joined us out at Samola on that very rainy day. I think the whole show was done under an umbrella, and you were kind enough to drive all the way through from PE to spend a few hours, and you were getting into the game then. What's it like for you now? Is golf still a game you enjoy?
I think that was certainly in early stages, yeah. And I think the Samola course wasn't even finished at the time. So, from there, I think my golf did certainly improve. I got myself down to about an 11 handicap. And then I started having kids and time became a factor, so sort of went up to a 15, 16, spent 2 years at Saracens in the UK, weather permitting, probably 3 rounds in 2 years, so I would say I'm a generous 18 handicap and not even a dangerous one at the moment, so the deep down there is still swinging me. I just haven't been able to activate it lately.
No, well, that's fantastic. I know you've got kind of a different kind of time on your hands now and that, but you were talking about the fact that you really got into your cycling and you know, you've got this need to stay fit and obviously spent your whole life in peak condition. Cycling's a big part of your life now, isn't it? It
is, yeah. Obviously it's the one way to sort of beat yourself to death without having to run and hurt and run into people and to get into the gym, so it is certainly one way of getting the exercise done, and there's that sort of competitive element that it does feed as well, a little monster inside of all of us as sportsmen. So it's I suppose as a big fat ginger guy on a bicycle, everyone's waiting to see how badly you do, so I'm chasing skinny guys all the time these days, so it's a little bit different to running over fat guys of what the past was.
Well, it's amazing how you've trimmed down. You were saying about 12 kgs that you've lost, and I mean, it's interesting to see how that might impact your golf swing compared to what it was back in the day.
I definitely. I mean, I haven't seen the inside of a gym for over a year since I've retired, and I knew that my body had changed because my son got woken up by thunder a couple of weeks ago, and he came down and he said, "Dad, I'm scared of the thunder." And I said, put him on my lap, and I said, "Tony, you don't have to be scared of the thunder." He goes, "Why?" So I said, "Look," I pulled my bicep, and he touched it like this. He said, "But it's so soft now."
No, then you know.
So my body has transformed a little bit since my rugby playing days.
Oh, that's beautiful. But you know, when we met with you in 2004, you were right at the start of this amazing career that you've had, and I think you'd just come off winning your first Tri-Nations tournament, and you'd got the relationship going with Jake in earnest then, and just such an amazing ride it's been since then. But now into retirement and CEO across at the Sharks, how's life for you at the moment?
Yeah, it's quite surreal when you put it like that, Don. It has been quite an incredible journey since 2004. You know, that was when it started really with Jake and I think the first moment was him calling me into a coffee shop. I think it was the Mug and Bean in Sandton, and asking me whether I'd be willing to captain the side. And if I think what's happened and the ups and downs throughout that journey, just that 4-year journey alone, in terms of the group of people that we had together, the relationship that Jake and I had to forge, and you know, ours was always one where I suppose he used me as an intermediate between players and himself and management, and bounced things off me. And I still remember after every test match, you know, phone between 6 and 7:30 in the morning, depending on how long Jake could wait to phone and find out about what we were going to do the next week. My wife used to say that during my time with Jake, he was my other mistress, you know. So we're back into that relationship. Obviously, from 2007 onwards, we didn't have a lot of contact rugby-wise, and then when the opportunity arose to rekindle the relationship from a working point of view, it was an opportunity I think that couldn't be missed. It's still early in its infancy. He's been here since November last year, and you know, I think satisfyingly enough, the guys have done well, and they into a semi-final. It's going to be a bit of a long shot in terms of the team that they're playing, but it's hopefully a process and a culture that Jake can bring in here in terms of hard work and results.
Well, the work ethic that you both have has got to instill a lot of confidence in the guys, and you know, it's a foregone conclusion that success has got to follow that. So I think everybody's, you know, obviously in great shape having you guys at the helm. So you know, I'd like to follow up on that a little bit later in the show. But as we said, we're out here at Durban Country Club. It's a place that's pretty close to your heart, I know, and it's a very special place. So we've got you out on the first hole today, and it's a tough test. It's a hell of a way to get into a golf course. It's got to rate as one of the best opening holes of all of golf. But it's all about how you go about addressing a hole like this. You arrive at the tee, a lot of people don't have enough time to warm up and prepare themselves. So, you know, it's all about club selection, getting 1 or 2 simple simple key thoughts to apply, get the ball in the fairway and set the tone for the round. So, let's do that and have a look at 1 or 2 swings, and my dad can tamper with you a little bit and hopefully we can improve.
I hope so. Yeah, this is obviously my home course and the course I play the most, and this is a difficult hole to come into cold, and normally I'm late for everything, so invariably this is normally like a 7 or a 5 iron,
well, that's
depending on how confident I am.
Sure. No, brilliant. Well, let's give it a go.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, John. Not a bad effort, John, down the right-hand side. Not a perfect strike, but there's a couple of things that stand out there that are very clear that we can work on. So I'm going to get my dad in now, and let's have a look at how to address those things without getting too technical. Then we'll hit a couple more shots and get you down the fairway.
Beautiful.
All right.
I like
Dad, come and join us.
So you mean it's not perfect?
Not quite yet.
Welcome to the show, John.
Let's get to see
Privilege
you.
having you on board again. Now, I watched you hit a couple of shots. Alignment is the main problem. Now, just do me a favour. If you just set yourself up as if you want to hit the ball down the fairway.
Okay.
Okay? That's
me.
Fantastic. Now, just freeze there.
Freeze.
There we go. Now, what do you see there?
I better have a really good draw.
That's the point. But again, the club on the ground is your foot alignment.
Yeah, but it looks when I'm lining up, it looks like I'm aiming for the middle.
Correct. Now that is, I've done this a million times on the show. That is what I call, well, it is without question the biggest optical illusion in sport, never mind golf.
Yes.
Because you're looking over your left shoulder.
Yes.
Now your left shoulder is actually aiming for the left half of the bunker.
Is this a similar problem that Bryce might have had in the quarterfinal of the World Cup?
Guaranteed.
When he couldn't see
Exactly.
Something similar, okay.
Exactly the same analogy.
Okay.
Now the key here is you must never forget that the club hits the ball. Now if we get your club here and put that club parallel to that, this is now aiming into the highway.
Yeah. A
Are
lot
you
of
with me?
a lot of insurance claims coming this way.
Exactly. So, once you look over your shoulder and you think you're aiming there, you hit the shot perfect from this position, believe me, it's going to go straight into the highway.
Yes.
So what do you do on the
That
next
has
shot?
happened a few times on this hole.
Well, exactly. But what do you do on the next shot? You don't realign yourself.
Just turn my club in.
Exactly. Well, you don't turn your club over, you bring your upper body over to shut the club face down, as we call it.
Yeah.
So by doing that, now what have you done? You've nullified your legs. Your legs are the strongest part of the golf swing.
Yes.
It's like a punch, throwing a ball, putting the shot. It's not core muscles. This goes on and on in golf now. You've got to get your core muscles. That's an attribute. Your power is actually from the soles of your feet. Now to prove that, if we had a tug of war, you don't work from your arms and shoulders. You dig your legs in and just pull me to the left with your legs. Now, in golf, you start the downswing by clearing your left side from your legs. Now, you can see here that at impact, I've got what we call left side domination. I can't hit the ball left. So if you've got left side domination from here, you can't hit the ball left, where's it going to go?
Road.
In the highway. Boom. So what do? You shut your legs down and come over the top, as we say.
So by definition, I should be hitting longer once I release my legs.
Not even, no. You laugh, John. I cannot overemphasize that point. The minute you start using your legs, you see a quick analogy here, it's quite fascinating. Just stand and face that way. Just give me your arm, right? Now just move a foot towards me with your upper body. Good. Now, pull me. Pull. It's pathetic. Now again to the viewer, you must understand that just have a look at the specimen of John and look at measly me. Now, go back again. This is quite amazing. Now go a foot to your left. Right, now give me your arm. Now pull. Look at the difference. There is no argument that your legs are your power source.
Yes.
There are two things you'll see from the front of the camera. You move off the ball, which nullifies your legs. I've just shown that. Plus, you've compounded it by aiming right. Now, the hole you've dug is getting deeper and deeper in golfing parlance. So, if you now set yourself up the club face aiming at target, that's point 1, and point 2 turning immediately instead of moving to the right, you will not believe your improvement. And it's instant. It's not weeks or months, it's instant.
We're going to see now.
You'll see now. I want to set you up now. Okay, the perfect line here is just left of this tuft of grass, right?
Okay.
So please come and stand here. Don't look at target. Put your club exactly parallel with my shadow and
Yes.
stand parallel to that shadow. That's stunning. That's brilliant. Now, what does it feel like, John? Be honest with me.
Feels like I'm going to be reloading here after hitting into the bush. It does feel left.
But left.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do, just have a quick practice swing. Freeze there. Now, imagine that's the ball. Now, turn and clear your left side. Unbelievable. Just do that 2 or 3 times. Turn and clear. Brilliant. Now, one thing here, John, that's critical. You played cricket at school.
Yes.
I now want you, the bowler is in the middle of the fairway.
Yes.
I want you to try and hit this ball through the covers. In other words, I want you, with this position here,
Cover
to
drop.
get your left hip, like your foot to the pitch of the ball, get your left hip pulling your left hand towards the bunker.
Okay.
Turn and go. Now you'll see from the back camera on the show, you're no longer over the top and I haven't touched you. Because if you come over the top now,
Yeah.
you are going to go into the bush.
Biggest thing I feel though, the biggest difference is I used to do that.
Correct,
You know?
yes.
So now I've
Yes.
just got to activate a few brain cells and just bring it up from, just turn from the start. Just
Rotate
Yeah.
immediately around your spine.
Yeah.
That and alignment are possibly the 2 most important things in the swing.
Okay.
So, there's the ball on the ground. Boom.
Okay. So
Now
let me
make
see.
sure you, that's brilliant. Apps, don't look up yet, that's stunning. Now look up.
Oh, feels left.
No, absolutely, don't try and kill it.
I won't.
Now hang on, you're starting with your hands only.
Yeah.
You're coming from the top.
Yes.
What I want you to do is start with your hips, not your arms.
Okay.
You see how early you're hitting the ball?
Yeah.
Just have a practice swing, turn, hips. Brilliant. Just hit at that pace. How good is that? How good is that? That is a high five, Big John. Unbelievable.
I thought it was going that way.
There's the point. Now you will see that on camera. You hardly moved off the ball at all. Your left side clear. Look at your flight and a slight draw.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Easy game.
Easy going. Does it make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah. It does feel awkward on the tee box
Well,
though, Mus, yeah?
You see?
So like there immediately my natural stance is, but I've actually just got to
Correct.
face, then get feet,
I
and then
just
turn, and then go through.
Brilliant. Look at your divot, inside out. Now, if anyone has alignment problems, it's going to take you at least a month for that to be
A habit.
a habit. It took me, and I was on tour in 1968 when I first got this tip from a famous teacher called John Jacobs at Wentworth in England. He told me my alignment was terrible, which it was, exactly the same as yours, for 6 weeks. Now, don't forget I'm playing it for a living. I've got a wife and family to support. I felt exactly like you. I was aiming in the bush on the left. So, but you've got to be amazingly disciplined to make sure that your club face is aiming where you want to go, which is the middle of the fairway,
Yeah.
and your feet are parallel. So when you look over your shoulder, you're going to be in the bush on the left. Make sense?
I got you.
John, absolutely brilliant.
Thanks, you.
Thanks, my friend.
Thank you, Mus. I might take a few rounds off Butchie now in the next couple
Well, I
of
hope so.
because I'm a few down.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, well, give me a cut of the winning.
Okay, no problem.
All right, John, fantastic tee shot. We're in play, slight uphill line now, big wind behind us. So we've got to look at not only the technical side, but the course management issues. Short and right to this green is just no good at all. Long is terrible. It's one of those holes where you just want to get in the middle of the green, give yourself a nice 2-putt and get on with the round.
Yeah.
You've got the hole kind of killed here with this tee shot. You've only got a wedge in, 135 meters, I think, in total. So we want to set this up about probably 15 feet left of the hole and just let the wind knock the ball into the middle of the green. So once you've assessed the shot you want to hit, and you've got the yardage and the club, that's when you take a step back and say, what do we need to do to hit that shot? What are the key thoughts? So alignment is what we've, pray, there, fair enough. I tell you, a bit of praying on this hole over the years. But you don't want to stand over the ball and get all these thoughts. Do your thinking behind the ball, be clear what you want to do so that when you get over the ball, it's maybe one thought and you've taken care of your alignment. Let's just try and get you rotating your body a bit more, not be so dominant with your hands.
Yeah.
We've got the Dell tablet here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to capture your swing and then we're going to have a look at it right after and see what you produce.
Okay.
Now you see there, John, there was the better shoulder turn, got the club into a more connected position, which allowed you to use your left side better, release the club down the left half. The wind didn't even touch it, but you've got yourself into the middle of the green and off you go.
Happy days.
So when you look at it on here, you can see the club working down an extension of your line and the body rotating onto the left side. That's got to be your key thought for the day now, as you progress through the round.
As an initial point, of reference.
And try and work on that on every shot. Pre-shot routine, and don't chop and change. It's all about course management.
Okay, here we go.
All right, let's go do it. Well done. Very good. On this week's Echelon Did You See That Moment, we take a look at Phil Mickelson at the 2011 Farmers Insurance Open. He came to the 18th hole needing to hold this eagle shot to get into a playoff. He'd sent the caddy up to the green to hold the flag, and what an attempt he made. Just another example of the creative genius of Phil Mickelson. All right, John, so great result getting up to this part of the green. It's going to be a bit of a tricky putt. How are you on reading the greens and getting the pace?
Don, I'm terrible. I really am. I'm forever relying on a caddy or someone else is playing that. I get no feel. I can see a slope and that, but 9 times out of 10 I get it wrong.
Well, there's a couple of telltale signs that you've got to pay attention to. Here at the coast we get to see grain so often. So as we stand here you can just see the green. It's got this sheen to it as we look at it. So it's going to give you this right to left kind of feel where the ball's going to run that way. If we stand here now, we can also see the slope is just leaning that way a little bit. So that's why the water will run that way. So that's what causes the grain.
Yes.
But from here,
it does feel like it's coming a little bit from the left as well. So those will cancel each other out, I suppose.
Exactly right. You can see by the slope there, it's slightly darker. So it's all going to, as you say, balance out. Now, it's all about pace now. What you want to do now is try and picture a hole, maybe 18 inches past the existing hole, and putt towards that. That's going to get you past the hole. And whatever you do, whatever the ball does going past the hole, watch it, because that's going to give you a feel for what the putt's doing. Oh, that's broken a lot. Great pace. You'll take that every day of the week. Knock it in. Not a bad 4 on a terrifying hole like this. Well done.
Yeah, that'll be a first 4 on this hole for me.
Very nice. So
some beard caged.
Some simple thoughts, but you do it that way, you know, the chances are you're going to be consistent and be able to get in the hole.
I like it.
Excellent.
I'll take pars all day.
Oh, for sure. Let's go to the second now. Now we're dealing with a proper par 3. Jay, we're talking putters today, and let's try and help people match up the putters they're using to the greens and the conditions that they're used to.
Absolutely. You know, Don, I think, putting is a game within the game. We see it on the tour. As soon as the guys start losing their putting stroke and they start missing putts, they just don't feature anymore. And the quickest way to better scores, never mind buying a new driver or going, for a lesson or whatever the case, those all help. But if you can knock in those crucial 4, 5, 6 footers, you're going to bring your score down every single time. When we look at a course like Durban Country Club, where we're at here at the moment, or coastal greens, they've got this grainy grass looking at you like this. When you're putting into the grain, you feel like you can never hit the ball hard enough to get it to the hole. So my suggestion is, if something that'll make a big difference, is go with a heavier putter. I mean, you've got the Titleist Futura Extra, which is made by Titleist.
Yeah.
You can see, you can change the weights in these putters. You can see that over there. So now at the moment, it's got two 15-gram weights, but you can put two 20-grammers in there. You add another 10 grams to the putter, and every putt you're leaving a couple of inches short will now get to the hole.
Right.
Exactly. So, you know, that is something like it. Also, it's face balance.
Yeah.
You can look at that over there. This is the same head that Adam Scott and Timmy Clark are using on their long putters when they use the long putter. So that is a really good head, and you need a heavy head when you're using a long putter.
But that's fantastic. So, you know, you're up in Joburg, you've got the two 15-gram weights inside.
Yes, and you can reduce them to 10. If it's too heavy, you can reduce them down to 10-gram weights.
But you're coming down to the coast,
Yes.
they've had a bit of rain, you know you're going to play on slow greens, pop in the heavier ones.
in the
Same
20
putter,
ones.
same look, just a heavier putter.
Put in the 20-gram weights, and I promise you now, same stroke, the ball's going to roll out a couple of extra feet.
Okay.
I brought this with just for a laugh. You know, if you remember Gary Player, I mean, he was a great putter and a pop putter. You know, he's the kind of guy who just never used to have any follow. He knew how to putt on these greens better than anybody else. Another guy that putted unbelievably on grainy greens was McNulty. McNulty used to have tremendous hit through the ball, and the putter would flow right, you know, past the thing. So one thing we can, you know, certainly from a coaching point of view, is that besides going with a heavy putter, if you're putting on grainy greens, the big thing is to let the putter get through the ball. Let the putter finish high. We're on, you know, that we always taught on fast greens, keep the putter blade nice and low to the ground. Certainly on grainy greens, you want to get that putter going right through the shot. The heaviest putter on the market for me, when I look at all the putters on our putting green, is this bronze Yes putter from Yes Golf. Okay, it's a C groove putter. They've also got the C groove technology. Now, what that does essentially is, you know, when it hits the ball, you're coming through the putt generally on an upward strike. The grooves actually impart overspin on the ball. And the big thing is, all putts, if you put it on a high-speed camera, you'll see that balls, when they get hit, tend to skid for the first foot or so. This one gets it rolling very, very quickly, like almost an anti-skid type mechanism. Also, the bronze head is very, very heavy. So if you want to have a few putts there, Don, just have a feel with these three putters and tell me which one works the best.
Okay.
That's it. Try this one. There we go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very nice. Well, Jay, you know, I'm a fan of this type of putter to look at for a start, but it's really great to feel that weight down the bottom there.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're at the DCC greens. They're quite firm and at the moment and got, you know, a good roll on them.
Yes.
But they still got that grainy feel. So, you know, this is something that would suit me, but it really is great to have the different options that you can go to. I know the mallets are the ones that have really taken over the last few years and they're more consistent for people. But when you've got this conventional looking blade like this and you can really feel the weight in the head, it gives you that feel of control and that touch that can get back into your hands.
You know, a lot of customers come into our shop and they say to us, you know, I'm not a great golfer, help me with the driver, help me with a set of irons, help me with a wedge. We can help them with that.
Yeah.
Putting is so personal. When somebody grabs a putter and he puts it down or she puts it down and it just feels, geez, this putter, I like the weight of it. I can control how far the ball gets hit with this thing. Then you know that's the start of it. And the other thing is, obviously, you know, from an alignment point of view, if you're struggling with alignment, a lot of these two ball or like this Futura over here, they've got great alignment mechanisms. So when you put the putter down, chances are, you know, in order to hold a putt, you need to make sure that you're aiming correctly. So if you have alignment issues, look for a putter that's got tremendous, you know, it's got a great alignment system. And if you're leaving putt short, especially on the, you know, go with a heavier putter. You don't have to hit the ball any harder. There's nothing worse than trying to force a putt. So if you kind of go leave these putts short very often, go with a heavier putter. It'll make all the difference.
It's got options now. You might as well make use of them.
Absolutely.
Well, John, I think you did a fantastic job there. You know, we identified on the tee, alignment was shocking. I mean, it was really hurting you. You were a good 60 meters right. No, we're not pulling punches here. What we're going to do next week is get you up on the second hole. But for here, every day of the week will go down.
I'll take that every day. This is a difficult course. Power doesn't really help you. That's probably why I don't ever really shoot good scores here. You know what I mean?
No, sure. But we're going to face a test now. Tough par 3. Wind is swirling. So, you know, let's go and see how we go. Then we're going to really look at it from a course management point of view now that you've got some technical thoughts to deal with.
Excellent.
Super. Well done, John.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.